Hey, how's my girl?
Better.
Look like you hardly touched your lunch.
My back is out of whack. My taste buds are in perfect working order. If you'd like it, help yourself.
No thanks, I'll pass.
Any word from Alec?
Nothing.
So is that good or bad?
It's got me worried. I mean, Alec knows that Jamal is his son, but he's made no effort to tell us where he stands. Oh, I tell you, I'd give my right arm if I could just figure out what's in his mind right now and just what he plans to do.
Ooh, what's diving in? Fast. Get that off. Gotta smell sweet for Betsy Jackson's. Eat this thing for the taking.
Well, I wonder where Trevor is. Court reconvenes shortly, and we haven't even gone over his closing statement.
And maybe he's not coming.
No, just
Wouldn't
don't.
that be the cherry on the sundae of my life?
Erica, don't panic, okay?
Panic? Are you kidding? I shouldn't panic? I mean, here I am with my primary counsel laid up in the hospital with a bad back. You can't represent me because you have been forbidden to practice by the bar. And now my last and only hope, my only line for defense, makes my cousin Vinny look like Effley Bailey. And you're telling me don't panic?
Congratulations.
For what?
The trial's almost over. Now your daughter's doing time in jail. That must make you very happy.
Hi. My name is Janet. What's yours? Kind of a dump here, huh? Well, that's all right. You'll get used to it. So what are you in for? I know. You're the shy type. Well, I'm the friendly type. You see, I'm a people person. I just love people. I'm crazy about them. So where are you from?
Pine Valley.
Pine Valley? What do you know?
All My Children, brought to you by Lean Cuisine from Stouffer's. Time to treat yourself right.
Checking out the wrapping, huh?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to stare.
No, it's all right. I know I look like one big cotton swab, but it's only temporary. You see, I haven't healed yet.
Were you in an accident?
Oh, no, good grief, no. I got what I like to call a minimum security facial. A nose bob, a nip here, a tuck there.
They do plastic surgery in prison?
Well, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse, unless I come out looking like a license plate. Anyway, I didn't catch your name.
Kendall. Hard. I just got here.
Oh, that's probably why you're so jumpy. New kid on the cell block. Well, after a couple of days, you'll be one of the gang.
If you don't mind, I think I'm just gonna watch some TV alone.
Oh, suit yourself. So, you're from Pine Valley, huh?
Yeah. Can I have the remote?
I used to live there. I bet it hasn't changed much.
I wouldn't know. The remote?
Well, I don't remember anyone by the name of Hart living there.
I'm it. One and only.
Well, what about your family, your folks?
My adoptive family lives in Florida. My real mother is Erica Kane.
Erica
Okay?
Kane? Wow, that's a kick in the head. I know her.
You and half the world.
No, I mean, I really know Erica. Up close and personal.
Right.
It's true, we were practically roommates once.
It's all the same to you. I would rather not talk about Erica. I don't even want to think about her.
Erica's one classy lady. And not too shabby in the looks department either.
Erica Kane is the most heartless, selfish, vindictive witch it has ever been my misfortune to know. Period. End of subject.
Kendall committed perjury, and now she's paying. And unlike my daughter, I do not enjoy other people suffering.
You set her up.
No, Anton, she set herself up. She pulled every dirty trick in the book and she got caught. Now she has to pay the price. She has nobody to blame but herself.
So you just lock her up and let her rot? Is that it?
Excuse me. She has been sentenced to 30 days in Greenbrier, not a life sentence at hard labor.
1 day, 1 hour. I say it's wrong.
I say it's justice.
Justice for whom? Kendall's made some stupid mistakes, and you've paid for some of them, and so have I. But I was able to forgive her. Why can't you? You don't just turn your back on your own flesh and blood. It's inhuman.
Anton, that is enough.
Well, you're just as bad as she is, maybe even worse. You totally turned your back on Kendall. It's like she doesn't exist.
I would like a moment in private with Anton, if you don't mind. Where have you been?
What's it to you?
You haven't been back to the house since we had that argument about Kendall.
Yeah, well, Kendall is having a hard time right now. She needed to know she's not alone.
You never
Oh,
lied.
I know. Kendall's a liar, and I'm a fool for caring what happens to her. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm going to stand by Kendall, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Anton, wait.
Oh, well, look who's here. Long lunch?
Mission of mercy.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad you're here. Are you all ready with your final closing statement?
Nope.
Excuse me?
It's no time to joke, Trevor.
No joke. I'm not driving home the win and run here. Jackson, my man, batter up.
Has he been drinking?
Honey, read this.
Well, this is incredible. How did you pull this off?
Hey, guys. Is it all right if I talk to your buddy here alone for a sec?
You're on our turf. You're here on our pass. Tim stays.
Okay. Sure. Fair enough. Yeah, sure. He was there the other night when I laid into you. I guess he may as well be here. Well, I apologize to you.
No one asked you to.
No, I know that, but you got one coming here. I didn't have any right to lay into you the way I did.
No big deal. I wasn't listening.
Well, I'd like to think that's true because I said some really rotten things to you, and I wish that I could take them back.
Yeah, right. Tell me what you really want.
No, I mean it. I treated you really unfairly, and I'd like to try to make it up to you, if I can. You know, and I owe you.
You owe me? Who are you to owe me anything?
You know, maybe we haven't heard from Alec because he's just coming to grips with instant fatherhood.
I can't help but feel for the guy, though.
Oh, I can. He treated Jamal like dirt, the way he treated Janine.
I know. The guy is whatever he is, but I still hit him real hard telling him about Janine, how she died, the fact that she left a son behind, his son. He was hit hard.
Well, Tom, what's done is done, and Alec cannot change any of that.
I know that, but supposing he starts searching his soul, and he decides that he's going to do right by Janine by making it up to Jamal.
Well, look, you know, I know my way around corporations pretty well, but I can be a little dense with people sometimes. You know, I misjudged you, and I feel like I did a number on your feelings in the process.
Oh, man. Your act reeks. Feelings? What do my feelings have to do with you, Mr. Big Shot? I'm just some no-account punk kid, remember? You told me to stuff my $10.
I know I did, and I was wrong to do that. I shouldn't have said that.
You did me a favor.
No, I didn't. Hey, listen, give me another shot, okay? Because I just got a great tip on a hot new stock, going for $9 a share. Okay, you give me your $10, you'll have 5 times that by the end of next quarter.
I'd sooner flush that down the toilet.
Come on. Look, I know I haven't given you any reason to believe a word you say, and maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's all bull. But maybe it's not. You know? The only way that you're going to find out is to trust me. So what do you say? Why don't you give me another chance? I'll get it right this time. You got my word.
I'd rather spend detention with old lady Hawkins from now until college than spend 5 minutes with you. Tim, let's go.
Come on. Hey, listen, all I'm talking about is one afternoon a week after school. Okay? And you, hey, Tim, you're welcome. Why don't you join? I'll tell you what. I'll take you on the train to New York. I'll give you a guided tour of the stock market. What do you think?
Baseball starts next week. I got practice after school.
Baseball? Are you going out for the team? Hey, all right, baseball. Hey, I used to be pretty decent. I pitched a no-hitter my senior year. What about, hey, I'll teach you some of the basics.
Man, you are slow. I don't want to play baseball or stock market or anything with you. I've got real family and friends. I don't need this big brother act you're pushing. Go find some other pigeon. I'm not buying.
That Erica, you either love her or hate her. But unless my memory's on the fritz, I recall her as only having one daughter. What was her name? Something that sounded like mouthwash.
Did you know the little Bianca?
That's not what you were going to say. It seems that I detect a little sibling rivalry going on between you and your sister.
Let's just say she's not my favorite topic of conversation and leave it at that.
Well, you're lucky you ran into me. You see, I'm an expert on not getting along with your sister. As a matter of fact, I've worked up a little theory. It's called the Baby Jane Complex. You want to hear about it?
No, thanks. I'm waiting for a news bulletin to interrupt the programming.
I hate that when that happens. There you are, watching the big spin. They're about to spin the wheel, and they interrupt. An announcer comes on and says, it's going to snow. Like I can personally do something about it?
Yeah.
So what's the news bulletin you're waiting for?
If you must know, Erica is on trial for attempted murder. And the trial ends today, and I want an extreme close-up of Erica digging her perfectly manicured nails into the palm of her hand.
Erica Kane? Attempted murder? Well, maybe I'm not as weird as they think I am.
This is unbelievable.
What now?
I've been reinstated to the bar. Effective immediately.
Oh, let me see that.
And the board waved the magic wand, and poof, Lawyer Jackson is back in action.
How'd you two pull this off?
It was Trevor. You should have heard him argue your case. He was fantastic.
Oh, boy, Yanni, I had nothing to do with it. You put him back in the game.
Well, but the thing is that we are back in the game. The dream team. Jack, you're my lawyer again, right?
Yeah, I guess you're stuck with me.
Oh, Jack! Oh, thank heavens, I'm saved! Oh, things are finally going my way. I can feel it. Oh, Jack, talk of an 11th hour reprieve.
Well, you know, Trevor didn't exactly hurt your case.
Oh, well, of course not. No. Oh, really, no offense made.
Hey, none taken there, Princess.
Oh, really, you have handled my case absolutely adequately. It's just that nobody knows me like Jack. Happy faces, what a pleasant change. Oh, Mother, it's good news. When you hear, I mean, it's a miracle. It's a miracle.
On the subject of Kendall, you and I have nothing else to say to each other.
All right, fine. We won't talk about Kendall. I will discuss the fact that you're living under my roof. You're going to medical school, all because I agreed to sponsor you.
And I told you what you could do with your house and your money.
You were angry.
I haven't changed my mind.
Anton, don't give up your education and a future over this...
Over what?
Just concentrate on your own life, on the goals that you've set for yourself, your career.
That is my business, not yours.
I promised Corvina that I'd watch out for you.
Does watching out for me include telling me whom I can see? Do I need your permission to care for someone?
Of course not.
Because if those are the strings attached, I can get a job and apply for a scholarship. I'll pay you back every penny you paid for my tuition, room, and board.
The arrangement stands. I gave your sister my word. I'm not backing out on my commitment.
And I'm not backing out of my commitment to Kendall. So get off our case.
Excuse me, young man. I couldn't help overhearing you talking to Mr. Merrick about Kendall Hart.
No comment.
I beg your pardon?
I don't talk to reporters.
No, I'm not a reporter. I'm Alice Hart, Kendall's mother.
Alec.
Please, just don't slam the door in my face.
What do you want?
What do I want? Well, I wanted Janine once upon a time, but I blew that. I wanted you, but I made a mess of that, too.
What are you talking about?
Janine found a way to pay me back for deserting her. She had a child. My son. And she never told me. And you're not surprised. You knew that. Well, I guess you found a way to pay me back too, didn't you?
Kendall didn't tell me her mother was coming to Pine Valley.
Well, I didn't know myself until Erica called to let me know Kendall was in jail. Bill and I followed the trial on the news, but we had no idea a little girl was in so much trouble. Naturally, I caught the first flight out.
Erica called you personally?
She was very gracious. Said a girl needs her mother at a time like this. Wasn't that thoughtful?
I'm sure you're anxious to see Kendall. I have my car outside. I'll drive you.
All rise.
Mr. Tanner, is the prosecution ready with its closing argument?
We are, Your Honor.
And the counsel for the defense?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Tanner, will you and the counsel for the defense, both counsels for the defense, approach the bench? What's going on here? Mr. Dillon, you're acting defense counsel in Miss Fry's absence?
Yeah, that's the deal, but my buddy here, my esteemed colleague, got a pardon from the gov, so to speak. Show him the letter.
Your Honor, the Arbitration Review Board has seen fit to reinstate him to the bar.
And seeing as he's the senior partner in the firm, we figured we'd give him last licks.
This appears to be in order. Mr. Tanner, do you have a problem with Mr. Montgomery making a closing argument?
Technically, no.
Then I'm going to allow it. Need I remind you, in making your summation, the subject of Mr. Montgomery's suspension is off limits.
There's no need, Your Honor.
I'm going to come down hard on any attempt to use it to strengthen your case with the jury.
The state's case will prevail on its own merit.
Let's get on with it, then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tanner, please proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it was a crime of passion. A crime of passion. Now, how often have you come across that little phrase in your newspapers, magazines, TV? It's commonplace. It's really almost a cliche. The morgue is full of unwitting victims of love. Now, I submit that the stabbing of Dmitri Marek, the attempted murder of Dmitri Marek at the hands of his wife, was nothing less than a passionate act of retaliation made in the heat of the moment by a very jealous but indisputably sane Erica Kane. Now, defense will try to tell you that at the time of the stabbing, that Erica Kane was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. They will further maintain that she has been suffering from this disorder over the course of the last 20 years. Now, what puzzles me, and the question that I pose to you, is why would Erica Kane, a woman of means, a woman of obvious intelligence, a woman who lives both her personal and professional life in the public eye, a woman who can afford the top mental health care in the world, a woman who could have treated this affliction at any time, but did not do so until she was arrested for attempted murder and aggravated assault in December of 1993? Now, defense will maintain that this illness was triggered by the sudden appearance of Kendall Hart, Miss Kane's illegitimate daughter, and the subsequent appearance of the man who allegedly fathered this child through an act of rape. But whether the court believes that Miss Kane was raped is not the issue here. The issues are what the defendant knew and when she knew it. Was Miss Kane in her right mind when she stabbed her husband? Did she know where she was? Was she aware of her victim's identity? Now, in answer, let me take you back to the morning in question, when Erica Kane, the jealous, outraged wife, paid a little visit to Mr. Dmitri Marek, the estranged husband, with the sole purpose of confronting him. She accused him of raping her daughter, Kendall, a charge which he vehemently denied. But the jealous wife refused to believe this. The jealous wife became angry. The jealous wife picked up a letter opener and tried to kill the unfaithful husband. Now, did whatever transpired between Mr. Marek and Miss Hart give her the right to take justice into her own hands? Of course not. I know that, you know that, and most importantly, the defense knows that. That is why they will tell you at the time that Miss Kane picked up this weapon, her intent was not to stab her husband. She thought she was plunging this letter opener into Richard Fields. See, she was hallucinating that the man who allegedly raped her over 20 years ago was coming after her. Well, how convenient. Now, let me take you back to the incidents right after the stabbing. Dmitri Marek lay on the floor with a letter opener sticking out of his chest, the life just draining out of him. He calls out and asks for his wife help. She stops, she turns around, she gives him one last satisfied look and runs out the door. She left her husband alone there to die. Cold-blooded? You bet. Inhuman? By any standards. Now, defense will tell you that under normal circumstances, a woman of Miss Kane's character is incapable of a violent act. Well, therefore, she must have been crazy. She must have been a victim of these personal demons. Well, I submit to you that there is only one victim in this case, and that is Dmitri Marek. Erica Kane has a documented history of violence. Now, we all saw the videotape of Erica Kane attacking Richard Fields, the man she claimed raped her. We all saw Erica Kane attack her own daughter, Kendall Hart, right here in this courtroom. We all heard Erica Kane threaten to kill Kendall Hart. The truth is that Erica Kane became enraged when her husband went against her wishes and helped Kendall Hart find her father. Now, Mr. Marek was forced to make a choice between his wife and Miss Hart. Well, in Miss Kane's eyes, he made the wrong choice. A choice that very nearly killed him. Is Erica Kane crazy? I submit to you that Erica Kane is completely sane. And that is what makes her so dangerous. And I am confident that after you deliberate with this, that you will come to the same conclusion and return the only verdict that you possibly can in all good conscience. Guilty.
Erica's lawyers are trying to get her off by pleading temporary insanity.
My favorite defense. If I'd had the bucks for a decent lawyer, I would have gotten off on that.
Always comes down to money.
Erica's loaded. She must have the best lawyers in the country defending her.
Are you kidding? Erica's legal team is a joke. One got his license suspended, one is flat on her back in the hospital. So as a last-minute resort, they sent in this third-string ex-cop whose law school is featured on matchbook covers.
Ex-cop? What's his name?
Trevor Dillon.
Trevor? Oh, good heavens, Trevor?
I can't believe that you would keep this secret from me. You knew how I felt about Janine. You knew how much I loved her. I can't believe that you wouldn't tell me that Jamal was my son the minute you found out.
It is not like I've been walking around for weeks with this really dark secret. I just found out myself.
Yeah, but you weren't going to say anything to me?
It's not up to me. It is between you, the Cudahy's, and Jamal.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to take it out on you. I'm just angry at myself, I guess.
Yeah? Why is that?
Before I knew that Jamal was mine, I treated him. Suffice it to say that he's got every reason in the world to hate my guts.
Well, that's a shame, but I'm sure you can work on that.
No, I can't. Because I don't know what to do. I need you to help me. You gotta help me figure out what to do. Gloria, I'm telling you, it was hate at sight between me and this kid. You know, when he wasn't driving me nuts with his cocky attitude, he was at me with questions, hammering at me and hammering at me. He was like me. He was exactly like I was when I was that age. I left South Boston for 2 reasons. One, because I ached to get as far away from the old neighborhood as I could, and 2, because I hated my old man. It lit a fire in me, and I can see that same fire burning in Jamal. He looks at me the way I used to look at my old man. I mean, is this the price that I gotta pay for taking off? I gotta have my own kid hate me? Because I can't handle that. I gotta find some way to fix this before it's too late. Please. Please, Gloria, please help me find a way to do it.
So how did you leave things with Alec?
I told him to get lost and to stay lost. But in case he didn't get the message, could you guys talk to him?
What do you want us to say?
Whatever it takes. Tell him I have a contagious disease. Tell him he bugs me and to stay away.
I feel really sorry for you and Jamal, but I can't let you back in my life. I won't do it. Not as my friend, not as my lover. So if you need somebody's shoulder to cry on, or if you need somebody to fix it, you're just gonna have to go somewhere else.
I don't have anybody else. There isn't anybody for me except you.
You can't do this anymore, okay? If you do, then I'll use this.
A restraining order?
You are not allowed within 30 feet of me, my workplace, or my home.
A restraining order?
I don't want to use it. But I will if you force me to.
Ladies and gentlemen, nobody will ever know exactly what happened at Dmitri Merrick's hunting lodge on the morning of December 14th. Nobody, that is, except the victim, Dmitri Merrick, and his wife, Erica Kane, the accused. Now, you heard the victim corroborate the accused's testimony, and you must give that its full weight in the course of your deliberations. Dmitri Merrick testified as to the torment that Erica Kane was going through because of nightmares and flashbacks to an event that, for reasons of sheer survival, she chose to suppress. He outlined in horrific detail the torment that the accused's daughter maliciously and deliberately inflicted upon her. Now, what about that daughter? Twice during the course of this trial, you've seen Kendall Hart take that witness stand. First, as a witness for the prosecution, then later as a witness for the defense, at which time she willingly admitted that under questioning from the district attorney, she perjured herself. In short, she lied. And all the evidence that the defense has shown to you as proof of Kendall Hart's ulterior motives and calculated duplicity was corroborated by Miss Hart herself. Now, you have also heard from Dr. Arthur Gould. In his expert testimony, he told you what the clinically accepted definition of post-traumatic stress disorder is. He also told you the major role that Kendall Hart played in triggering the flashback that ultimately led to Mr. Merrick's injury. Now, post-traumatic stress disorder, the prosecution would have you believe that this is some pseudo-psychiatric illness that the defense has dreamed up, but it is not. It is not a loophole, and it is not the latest word in psychobabble. It is a diagnosable, debilitating mental disorder. Its victims are survivors of major trauma, torture, earthquakes, automobile accidents, shell shock. Though the city of Saigon and the south of Vietnam fell over 20 years ago, the soldiers that lived through the hell that was that war are only now beginning to relive those experiences for the first time. Erica Kane was raped over 20 years ago. But does the passage of time make her trauma any less real? Now I want to ask each of you to try to imagine something that is almost unimaginable. I want you to imagine that you're 14 years old, very young, very naive 14. You're visiting your father, a famous Hollywood director, and it's your birthday. He's promised you a lavish party full of laughter and movie stars. But Daddy never shows up. The guests never arrive. There is no party. There never was. Then all of a sudden, the doorbell rings. And standing in the living room is a famous movie star, your Saturday matinee idol. And he is polite, he is kind, he is smiling, his famous smile, he is lavishing extravagant compliments on you, telling you that you are a fairy princess, and he is an enchanted prince. And you believe him, because you're 14 years old, it's your birthday, and you're all alone. You believe him until the enchanted prince turns into a beast and grabs you and throws you to the floor and scratches you and bites you and holds you down and rapes you while you scream for help, but nobody comes because there's nobody home. And then when this monster is finished, he stands over you smiling that famous smile and says, "You asked for it." You don't even know what it is. All you know is that you feel dirty. Your body begins to change. But you don't for one moment think you're pregnant, because you don't make any connection between the act of violence that was perpetrated upon you and the act of making a baby. But you go into hiding. Then you go through the pain that is labor. And then in one unbelievable moment of agony, you, still at the age of 14, give birth. But you don't bond with the baby. You don't ask to count its fingers and toes, because that baby, that child, has nothing to do with you. And everything to do with what happened that night. So you give it up for adoption. To a couple that can take care of it and love it and give it its needs like you never could. And then you and your mother try to go on with the rest of your lives. Your mother tells you, forget the past. Let's put it behind us. It's over. And you try. But every night, alone in your bed, you find yourself reciting multiplication tables or nursery rhymes that you remember from when you were a child. All so you don't think about it. Because when you think about it, you feel like it's gonna kill you. You are only 14 years old. Now come forward with me, 23 years. The child that you gave up for adoption is now a woman. She's coming looking for you. She lies about who she is, then she confesses, then she blames you. Then, this stranger, this child of rape, your daughter, comes to you and tells you that your estranged husband, who she has set you up to distrust, has raped her. Rape! The word echoes in your mind as you go to confront your husband. He denies it. And though your daughter has lied to you before, you cannot believe for one moment that she could lie about something as vile, as heinous, as the crime of rape. Your husband is enraged at the girl's duplicity and says to you, no matter what happens to her, she asked for it, and boom! You are right back there with the night that changed your future forever. You are 14 years old again, and it is not a memory. It is real. And instead of your husband there, you now see Richard Fields, the man who raped you on your 14th birthday. He grabs you. You're sure he's going to throw you down to the floor and rape you again, only this time, you have decided it's going to be different. This time, you are going to fight back. So you grab the closest object to defend yourself with, which happens to be a letter opener, and you plunge it not into your husband, not into the man you love, but into the monster who raped you on your 14th birthday. You have no way of knowing that you've done anything wrong, because at that moment, all you are doing is defending yourself against a real and present danger. Because at that moment, you are 14 years old again. Ladies and gentlemen, at that moment, you are clinically, legally, and literally insane.
The case of the People versus Erica Kane has gone to closing arguments. Jury deliberations are expected to get underway later this afternoon. In a related story, Kane's daughter, Kendall Hart, pleaded guilty to perjury and was sentenced to 30 days at the Greenbrier Minimum Security Correctional Facility.
My 15 minutes of infamy.
Kendall.
Oh, Anton, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, God, I hate this place. You have no idea.
Cheer up. I brought someone to see you. Your mother's here.
Erica? No, honey, it's only me. I've come to help you if you let me. Oh, it's all right, baby. Everything's gonna be all right. Mom's here.
Well, the intruder must have a picture of the embattled Erica Kane. There he is. Trevor Dillon, attorney at law.
Ladies and gentlemen, the events that took place on the morning of December 14th are nothing if not tragic. Who's responsible? I charge you, the jury, with placing the responsibility where it rightfully belongs, and that is on Mr. Richard Fields. The monster that raped a 14-year-old girl and then years later showed back up to leave fresh hell in his wake. Now, the prosecution has called what Erica Kane has done a crime of passion. A crime of passion. She didn't attack her husband in a jealous rage. As a matter of fact, she did not attack her husband at all. She was attacking Richard Fields, the thief who robbed her of her childhood, the assassin of her innocence. It's over. It's finally over. Those were Erica Kane's words when she walked into that hospital emergency room, because she felt that her nightmare had finally ended. She thought Richard Fields had been destroyed. And it was not until she heard her husband's name that she was blasted back into reality. Now, to say that Erica Kane has not suffered for what has happened, for what Richard Fields drove her to, does Erica Kane a great injustice. She has suffered greatly. She has suffered because her husband has suffered. She has suffered because her daughter has suffered. She has suffered because her mother has suffered. And she has to live with what happened that morning for the rest of her life. Isn't that punishment enough? So now, ladies and gentlemen, you have the opportunity, the responsibility to close the door on this horror, to permit this family to go about the act of living again. So understanding what she did and why she did it, I'm confident that you will find the defendant, Erica Kane, not guilty.
This is Charles Gibson.
And Nancy Snyderman. Tomorrow, a drug that prevents breast cancer, but preventing one cancer may cause another.
Plus Randy Quaid and the greatest show on earth. Tomorrow on Good Morning America.
Here on ABC.
Coming up, when Kevin challenges her true feelings, will Rachel choose him over Ben? Stay tuned for One Life to Live.